welcome to Friends Talk Film, episode number 9. With me today are my friends Sacha and Leo. How you doing, guys?
Feeling good. This thing looks like a dick, so I'm like... But apart from that, I'm okay.
Nice.
Yeah. It didn't look good.
It looks great. Got some good technique there, man.
I know.
In case it's the first time you're watching the show, we are lifelong friends and we talk film on a daily basis. We bring our thoughts and opinions on films to you. On today's Hot Topics, we will be discussing Mel Gibson and Sean Penn in The Professor and the Madman. Rebel Wilson to star in the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels remake. We've got Ava DuVernay makes history with A Wrinkle in Time. Kathryn Bigelow and her Detroit riots drama, some casting updates. We talk Daisey Ridley to star in Chaos Walking. We've got Alien Covenant update, and we've got Star Wars Rogue One, a new cameo announced. Also, we've got our regular spots on the show, which is the Film Flashback and the Channel Flick Challenge. Please note, we do discuss full spoilers of all movies, so if there's any particular film or subject you don't want to know the details of, please skip ahead to the next one, and you can use the graphics below as a guide.
Tim Robbins gets out at the end of Shawshank, just FYI. Spoiler alert.
Right, so we're going to go straight into it, guys. So the first one is The Professor and the Madman. So Mel Gibson and Sean Penn are going to be starring together in a film about the creation of the Oxford English Dictionary. Gibson has wanted to make this film for years, ever since he acquired the rights to Simon Winchester's book back in 1998. He's aboard to play Professor James Murray, who began compiling the OED in 1857, kicking off one of the most ambitious projects in history. Penn is in negotiations to be Dr. W.C. Minor, who submitted more than 10,000 entries, while also an inmate and asylum for the criminally insane. So what do we think about this film?
I'd rather see the story of how YOLO got in there into the Oxford Dictionary, because that's
the updates.
The updates, yeah. That's probably more interesting. I want to see who sat down at the panel like, okay, so enough people are saying YOLO. And
we're going to make an official word.
ROFL. So, yeah, I think we're just going to add that in there as well, along with Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger. So, you know what? It's got Mel Gibson attached, so I'm in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like...
I think the time period is interesting, right? 1857.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very much a time period film.
Oscar maybe trying for it?
Yeah. And, Sean Penn, if he's in an asylum for the criminally insane, he can kind of maybe let loose a little bit here and be a bit creative with the character. I don't know, but it could be an interesting take.
Well, I mean, the director Farhad is obviously he's worked as a writer on Apocalypto, so he's worked with Gibson before.
Absolutely, yeah. So Gibson had thought about directing this, but obviously with the other projects, and I think Passion 2 is something maybe he's more going to direct. He is just starring in this one. He's probably going to produce it as well.
Yeah.
Sasha, your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems quite interesting. The only thing I'd say, given Gibson's track record at the box office, I'm surprised having Sean Penn as like the other lead or whatever is a surprising move. I would have thought they would have got someone a bit more A-list, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And like The Gunman, which I thought was a terrible movie, by the way, like really underperformed at the box office.
Yeah,
really. I didn't think it was that bad, but I mean, I quite like Sean Penn though. I think Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Don't get me wrong, that's nothing against Sean Penn. I'm just thinking from a studio situation.
It was like Sean Penn's Taken, right?
Yeah,
not as good.
But it's like, from a studio's perspective, I'm surprised they greenlit it with Sean Penn. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's a bad actor or whatnot. He's a fantastic actor. He's got eyes of a stone cold killer.
Yeah,
but
has he got the box office? But has he got the box office draw?
But yeah, exactly.
Watch An Evening with Kevin Smith. If you want to catch that reference, where that's from.
But I mean, like, I mean, interesting. It's always good to see Mel back. Penn's fantastic. He's a good talent as well. It's just, I'm just kind of shocked there's no names to this project. Not dogging on Gibson, because for me, Gibson's enough for me to go watch.
Yeah.
But, his last few movies tanked.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Like,
but there seems to be a bit of resurgence going on with Gibson now, right?
Yeah,
so
maybe
his name's been connections.
I guess maybe he's taking the baby steps. Maybe this is like a small budgeted project, so they probably don't see it as a risk factor. But I don't know. I know my first inkling's like, who's the other guy with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's Sean Penn, and then I'm just thinking
maybe it depends on what supporting cast they get. Maybe they can
or maybe Gibson's just got a lot of pull on this project, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
and why should he?
He's somebody he wants to work with.
Exactly,
right?
and why should he? So,
I mean, Gibson is if I was right, that was it. Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
at some awards at one point was telling people to forgive Gibson.
Yeah.
So,
and that would have been,
that would have been a good move.
That would have been a good move because you know what? They are boys from back in day. I mean, Gibson gave him his shot in Air America. They even during the darker periods of his career, there was the Singing Detective that came out, which wasn't a hit because Downey Jr. wasn't Iron Man, but Mel Gibson was still, he was fading. You know what I mean? When that came out, nobody saw that movie. But, do you know what I mean? They've always worked together and stuff. Yeah. So, Downey Jr.'s right. You know what? Downey Jr., push for him to be in a Marvel movie. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Needs to happen.
Could you imagine, Mel Gibson as Thanos? I reckon he could pull it off.
He could probably pull it off. But you know what? If there was no Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury...
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He would have been my first choice as Nick Fury.
Yeah. What, as in fucking...
White Nick Fury?
Yeah, no, well, there was already a White Nick Fury. Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Could we get could we get him in as Norman Osborn?
No.
Oh, mate.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Really?
Fucking yes.
Yeah, right.
Make that happen. No. That's spot on. That is fucking...
Literally just come to mind just now. I'm trying to think of Marvel characters.
No, bruv, that needs to happen.
Right.
No.
Marvel, listen, we're going to tweet about this. We're going to put it out there. Gibson for
Osborn.
Alright.
Shit, son. That was mind-blowing shit right there. I'm fucking impressed.
Be mindful that about 15 minutes ago, this dude was asleep. So he's awake
I'm
now.
telling you what, if I woke up in the morning and saw Mel Gibson casted as Norman Osborn, I'm fucking there. More like you would not fucking believe if I wasn't there.
That'd be amazing.
Even with Andrew Garfield as well.
I'd watch the movie. I'd watch the movie and go, well, Mel Gibson was good.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on. So next is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So MGM is developing a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Rebel Wilson attached to star. So the 1988 original featured Steve Martin and Michael Caine as con artists who tried to swindle a young American heiress out of $50,000. That you might not know is that the story itself was a remake based on 1964's bedtime story. But in this take, the story will follow two female grifters who one is cultured, the other is uncouth, who compete to swindle a naive tech prodigy out of his fortune. So there's no new casting announcement about who the other person will be, but a remake.
Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for it. Where's Dread 2? Where's Dread 2? Why are we doing this? No one asked for this. No one asked for this at all. I don't. Rebel Wilson's cool. I like Rebel Wilson.
Yeah,
I love her nunchuck skills.
Yeah.
I have a little man crush on her.
Yeah.
I'm all down for Rebel Wilson. Pretty much being in anything.
Yeah.
But because as long as she's like Melissa McCarthy, as long as she is Rebel Wilson, as the personality she plays in everything, then it's cool. I'm down with it. Same with Melissa McCarthy. As long as Melissa McCarthy isn't reined in and you allow her to ad lib and do what she needs to do, then happy days. So I'm down for Rebel Wilson to be in it. But again, it's like Hollywood are making movies like, oh, let's just remake this, and it's I can't remember who it was. Maybe Jason said, we're just running out of original ideas, so we're just going back and we're remaking things. It's like when we remade The Honeymooners with fucking Mike Epps and what the fuck's his name, Cedric the Entertainer. Like, who the fuck cares?
They remade The Honeymooners.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it fucking sucks as well. So
it probably bombed, kept been and gone.
Exactly. But it's one of those movies that got released on BET. It's like along with this is quote unquote black comedy movies with Barbershop and Beauty Shop,
Soul Train.
Like it's along that line. They remade it. It made a moderate amount of money. Okay, fine, but why we make this is it? I get it. You can't replace Steve Martin though. That's it. You just can't.
Could they not call it something else? I mean, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That sounds like a very manly thing, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And also,
maybe they will
take the premise, change the title, rebrand it, something different, maybe put based on Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Look, this isn't an IP. You know what I mean? Ghostbusters, I get. That's a big that's his franchise, big name. Okay, so I kind of get. Yeah. Are we that desperate to go through hey, wait, this worked in the 80s? It's not even a franchise. Why are we forcing it?
Yeah, I suppose the argument would be is if they repackaged it as something else, named it something else, then they'll just say, well, that's just Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of films do that,
so,
and plus,
they do.
And but the other thing is though, does anyone even give a shit?
No.
You know what I mean? That's what.
But that's why they
attach
attach people like Rebel Wilson, which is which is like why Wicked. Yeah, the run of Wicked probably sells more money right now because Rebel Wilson is in it. Is that just right? She's doing Wicked, right?
I think she's in it.
Yeah,
yeah. Because she also did the Disney Little Mermaid performance where she sung against the animation and stuff like that. And she was Ursula, and she was amazing.
Okay.
I mean, look,
who would you cast with her?
Well, Melissa McCarthy.
Wow.
That's it.
What, Little Mermaid?
No, in terms of this.
In this.
So
this.
Rebel Wilson and Melissa McCarthy together.
That's it.
That could be really interesting.
I mean, look what they're doing now with the Mike and Dave. I think it's Mike and Dave need dates. Need wedding dates.
Yeah, dates.
With the fucking the two girls. I can't remember their names. One of them's from I'll just tell you now. She's from Community. Right, okay, so you got Zac Efron, Adam Devine, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so and then you got Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza, right? Yeah. So you've got that cast there. That's pretty much kind of the same thing. These girls are running in, they're trying to hustle some two dudes, and like, okay, we get it. They might not, Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza might not have the same on-screen presence as Rebel and whoever they cast with, but if they get somebody like Melissa McCarthy, could you fucking imagine? Yeah, I'd watch that. Like, I mean, I didn't ask for it, but I would watch it.
I could see them actually casting Anna Kendrick because of the Pitch Perfect.
But then are you just attracting the wrong crowd? Because it's like a lot of people who like Pitch Perfect might not necessarily like that type of. They might not like Mike and Dave kind of comedy. So who knows? Absolutely. But I just Dredd 2. Make Dredd 2. Stop making these silly fucking movies, please.
So there's not there's not too much to touch on about this, but I think it's definitely worth a mention. So A Wrinkle in Time. So after chronicling history with Selma, Ava DuVernay is to direct Disney's adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time. So DuVernay has now become the first woman of color to direct a live action movie with a budget of more than $100 million. So it's a remarkable milestone to cross in that industry, and for now she's the only one. So obviously women have directed films with big budgets in the past, so include like Kathryn Bigelow and more recently Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman, but obviously this is the first African American. So Frozen Jennifer Lee, who co-wrote the Disney film and who's doing the sequel, has written the script, which draws on the Madeline Leneagle's 1962 Tomb. So the story follows the Murray family, especially teenager Meg and her genius 5-year-old brother Charles Wallace, and Meg's classmate Calvin O'Keefe. Their scientist father has gone missing, but after the visit of a mysterious old lady called Mrs. Whatsit, they learn that their father's research may have been more successful than they guessed, and they may have travelled in space and time. So the kids end up following his footsteps to a planet called Camazotz, ruled by a giant evil brain called the Black Thing. Oprah Winfrey is so far the only cast member confirmed.
That's all you need.
And it's set for July 28th, 2017 release.
It's the drawing power of Oprah Winfrey. She's got her own fucking channel. She's the richest person in the world. She's a gazillionaire. Well, obviously not in the world, but she's up there.
You get a car.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a fucking horrible story. If you read up on the tax breaks that she got from those, you get a car, you get a car.
Really?
A lot of people couldn't actually afford. She's a piece of shit, really. Because a lot of people couldn't actually afford to keep those cars. So they had to give them back. Because of the tax on it and shit like that. And so she didn't actually give them away. She gave them also as sort of like a business expense.
Right, okay.
So the financial onus, again, I don't know too much about American taxes, but the financial onus fell onto the person receiving the vehicle. And a lot of them couldn't keep the car because it cost them too much money. So really whilst everyone's like, Oprah Winfrey up in arms, she's not really that great because she was very business-minded in that decision. But when it comes to Oprah Winfrey, she has drawing power, which is absolutely, like she will mention books. She'll talk about a book, and all of a sudden that book will hit top, is a bestseller.
Absolutely.
So she's attached to this movie. She has I know I've seen her in other films, maybe like TV movies and stuff where she wasn't as big. And they were okay.
Was it The Color Purple she was in?
I think so. I mean,
was her big movie.
Yeah, The Color Purple. Yeah, she played Sophia, the actress. Yeah. And she produces the Oprah Winfrey Show. She's produced Beloved. I think she's going to be producing this film. She's EP'd Green, like a TV show called Greenleaf, Queen Sugar. She's got fingers in many pies.
Queen Sugar is the movie that's coming out about now from DuVernay. So that's a new release that's coming out soon. And again, Oprah Winfrey was attached to that. So they obviously have a really good relationship.
She was a producer in Selma.
She directed Selma.
Oh, was she directed it as well?
Well,
no, not Oprah. We're talking about DuVernay.
So
DuVernay
I'm talking about Oprah.
Oprah as a producer. Directed Selma.
I mean, look. What in my mind, I mean, there is.
She was first choice for Amanda Waller in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I would have been down with that.
Everyone was.
She would have pulled it off as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. The person they got, the actress they got, I don't know her name, but the actress they got in Suicide Squad, and we will be talking about it, was totally spot on. Yeah. I mean, she was a badass. But what I mean, in this, I don't know a lot about this Wrinkle in Time stuff, and I don't really know a lot about. And maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, but. What I can tell you is if you have a big name like Oprah Winfrey attached to it, you have punching power. You got her as a producer, you got her financial backing, and most importantly, and I think you'll agree, you got a reputation. You got something like that. You got somebody like that on your team, somebody like that backing your project. You can't go wrong. I have no doubt it's probably going to be a decent film in some sort of way, but. I think the draw there for most people is going to be what ping up will be Oprah Winfrey. Yeah,
but Sacha, in terms of the actual sort of like landmark, in terms of being the first African American woman for that kind of budget film, it's quite a landmark, right? It's just like
it is.
It's big for the industry, considering the Oscars last year. Yeah, how they talked about whitewashing and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. But away from the colour subject, this is. It's a good thing for women in general. There are a lot of women directors. I've got a few friends that are women directors and have done some stuff. And, it's
harder.
It's harder. Yeah, I don't know why it's harder, but it's harder. But then you've got people like Kathryn Kennedy, who's she wants to get a woman directed Star Wars film. She openly said that. She goes, but the fact is, there isn't that many women auditioning or lobbying for the job for a Star Wars film. Funnily enough, she got offered both Wonder Woman, Black Panther, and another Marvel film. Oh,
really? Okay, interesting.
I think it might have been Captain Marvel. Right, okay. And she turned down Marvel due to creative difference because she's one of those directors with a clear vision.
She has her own vision of stuff.
If you watch Selma, it's quite vivid, if you know what I mean. And Wonder Woman, I don't think that would have been a perfect fit because, do you know what I mean? Like, DC want to control that, the WB want to control, just like Marvel.
They still went with a woman.
Yeah.
Which is obviously true. Which is great, but they thought obviously we're going to get like a female woman's perspective on a female character.
And
I've just seen she also fucking directed Monster. Have you seen that fucking movie?
Patty Jenkins.
Jesus Christ, man.
And The Killing.
Patty Jenkins is a talent.
What's her fucking name? Charlize Theron? In that movie?
Yeah.
Jesus, man. Like, the change. She's probably one of the most beautiful people on the planet. So she went from that to this. Like,
but I mean...
anyway, I digress.
But yeah, I mean, like, the fact this is still a thing in 2016 is actually disgusting. But no, good on her. She's making history there, and she's doing a project where she can... do her own thing and stamp her mark in.
I think the important thing, though, is when it comes to something like that, is to not intentionally go and try to make history. Just go and run your own race.
Do your thing.
Just run your own race. And if you manage to make a difference in that format, then go you. More power to you.
Yeah.
But if you go out with a point that I'm going to make history,
and that's probably not what she's. And that's probably not what she's doing. It's just media.
Exactly. It's the way the media interprets it. Well, sticking with female directors, and we'll talk about Kathryn Bigelow's 1967 Detroit riots drama. So it's untitled project at the moment, but Kathryn Bigelow, The Hurt Locker, helped Anthony Mackie's career. Kicked him up.
The Hurt Locker.
He's now reuniting with her for her directing her latest movie. We also learned this week that Will Poulter from The Revenant and We Are the Millers, and Jack Rayner from Macbeth and Transformers: Age of Extinction are among those joining Hannah Murray, who's Game of Thrones Gilly, and John Boyega, who's the main star of the movie. Mark Boyle once again is on writing duties for Bigelow. The film will tell the story against the backdrop of the destructive riots that spread across the city of Detroit in '67, the result of pent-up rage, racism and police raids. We do know that Mackie will play a returning Vietnam veteran who features prominently in the story. Shooting will be happening soon, and Bigelow is aiming to have it ready for 2017 release around the 50th anniversary of the riots. So Bigelow's got a great track history.
Point Break, mate. That's why I was like, fuck that movie. Point Break. She put Patrick the fucking ghost Swayze, right? And then she put in fucking Keanu Reeves and made one badass movie. Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, so what are we thinking of this film?
I'm down.
Some good casting.
I fucking love Kathryn Bigelow, man. I love how she shat on her ex-husband at the Oscars. Where she was like, yeah, so my film cost like literally nothing in comparison to your movie, James
Avatar,
Cameron.
right? Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then she was like, but I win the Oscar. Thank you very much.
You. Yeah.
Like, so that's, and she's classy about it. I like her. I'm down. I want to see anything she fucking touches is going to be good. I'm totally down for it. So this is the Untitled Detroit Project. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Will Poulter, I like him in We're the Millers.
Yeah, he's the son. He plays the son.
He was actually pinned to play Pennywise the Clown at one point, which I would have loved to have seen.
He has got an interesting look, hasn't
he does. Yeah, I mean, it's the eyebrows, but fuck it, he pulls it. You know, he's British, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's British. Right, he's from. Where's he from?
Wasn't he in
England? Yeah,
or something. I think. I can't remember what. I'm sure I've seen him in an English TV show.
Well, Chronicles of Narnia he was in.
Right.
And he's been The Revenant, you know.
Yeah,
he's been
Revenant,
a few bits. So, but I mean, when I first saw him in We're the Millers, I was quite impressed by him. But yeah, and Anthony Mackie, obviously, you know, he's getting bigger since 8 Mile, which is nice. Papa Doc, which I'm sure he would like to forget. But I don't know who Hannah Murray is. I don't really, I haven't really followed any of her stuff. I know she's in Game of Thrones, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything else about her. I know she's in Gilly, and she plays Gilly, and that's pretty much it. But
and we got our man Boyega, right? So
yeah,
he's gonna bring some acting chops. Sacha, your thoughts on the movie?
I think Leo just more or less covered it, really. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's Kathryn Bigelow, for fuck's sake, doing a thing. This looks more entwined with, like, what the Hurt Locker kind of tone. Yeah. I'm all down for that. It's got John Boyega and Anthony Mackie. Come on, man. It's going
to be really interesting to see them on screen together.
I'm very interested to see what Boyega does outside of Star Wars.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
I've already, you know, leading up to Star Wars, he was already a talent. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of 24, and I saw him in 24. That's the Star Wars kid? Okay, cool. Yeah. And then, I'm sorry, Attack of the Block. If you haven't seen... You know what, I had an idea for an alien invasion movie, and they more or less filmed it. They filmed a version of it. Yeah. Because, like, I always wanted, like, a little ghetto guy, you know, up against aliens kind of thing. Yeah. My version would have been, like, a posh school kid...
Right,
you know what I mean? Teamed up with a guy that bullies him on the street kind of thing. And
that sounds like a Are You Afraid of the Dark episode.
Yeah. But like, it would have been like, you know, a buddy kind of comedy kind of thing where, you know, London's getting invaded and stuff. That's just my 2 cents on my idea. But then, you know, we just come out, that year we just come out of fucking the worst movie ever made in history, in my opinion, Skyline. And I know you like Battle LA, but I did not like Battle LA. I just kind of gauged that alien invasion movies, like, if Skyline was like there, Battle LA was like here, and it's still below the floor, okay? I just, you know.
I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah. I just didn't like it.
I like Aaron Eckhart. That's,
But, you know, along came Attack of the Block. My manager at the cinema was hating on it. I think this intrigues me. This intrigues me because the concept, you know, intrigues me. It's set in London. Let's see where they go with this. And you know what? That's a funny motherfucking movie.
Yeah, man.
And he owned it. He owned that screen, man. He owned that screen. Anyway.
Okay, so we're going to move on. So we're going to talk Chaos Walking. So Daisy Ridley obviously has been busy with Star Wars, but now she's signed off for the lead in the adaptation of Patrick Ness's young adult novel Chaos Walking. So Ness's trilogy is The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men. It finds humankind in a dystopian future, colonizing a distant planet after the Earth has been ruined. When an infection called the Noise strikes, all thoughts become audible and chaos follows.
Happening!
Sorry. A corrupt autocrat takes the chance to seize control of the human settlement in order to launch a strike on a native alien race. The Spackles, blaming them for the infection, and that's apparently killing human women. So... Obviously, I've never heard of this book or series or anything like that. This is all new to me. But Doug Liman, so Edge of Tomorrow, Jumper, Mission Mrs. Smith, Born Identity, Swingers, he's on board to direct.
And start?
No, Doug Liman in terms of director.
Yeah, and he's starring.
Oh, is he starring as well?
He's starring as well, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah, he's also been working on the most recent draft of the script. There's never been, and it's also been through the hands of Charlie Kaufman. So Lyman is also set to direct of Edge of Tomorrow 2 and the Gambit movie, which
just
is
to confirm, he's not starring.
My mistake.
He's just attached to it.
Oh, he's attached to it.
It just shows the people because it's in early progress. Okay. Yeah, it just shows the people that are attached.
Oh, okay. Because it said starring up there. I was like,
so Charlie Kaufman's a writer and producer, so he's just attached.
For me, obviously, Daisey Ridley is a fantastic talent. It's another alien space orientated movie. Maybe it was not.
Is it going to be one of those young tweeny kind of movies?
I think it is going to be in the vein of that Insurgent, Divergent,
World of Tomorrow kind of thing.
But it's got a really solid director behind it, and I think he can definitely bring that kind of world and alien life to life on the screen.
It does sound like kind of like Why the Last Man, which is a comic book series about all the men dying in the world. So and there's just one man left. And all the women are kind of basically running everything. But it's got Daisy Ridley in it. Don't get me wrong, I like Daisy Ridley in Star Wars. I think Star Wars is a great movie. I really love Force Awakens. Is she ready for this kind of role? Because she might be preoccupied with everything that's going on with Star Wars at the moment. True. So, like, will you be, if you take like a side project on, are you because let's be honest here, if you had a choice between this project and Star Wars, what are you going to take? Star Wars, right? So, where is the majority of your efforts going? Are they going to go to Star Wars? Yes, most likely. Or they're going to go to the side project, and you're not going to be able to give your all. Don't get me wrong, she's a professional, and obviously that's her job, and that's what she's there to do. But I don't know. I would much rather see Dread 2. So I'm going to drive that point home. Someone's going to make it, and then they're going to say, you know what? It's because of that fucking fat dude on that podcast. He just won't shut up. We just made it. So, but no, I mean, jokes aside, look, she's a good actress. It's got a strong director behind it. I personally, I need to see a little bit more. I need to get something a bit more to chew on.
Yeah,
for me to make a decision.
Because I don't know much of the story of the books.
Because at the moment, it's like, you're just telling me about. You're the waiter telling me about what the specials are. But I haven't tried it yet. I don't know what the chef's like. So we'll see.
Sasha.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, I don't know about the whole Star Wars thing. I mean, she's got one more film, if it is one more film, left to go out the trilogy now, because Ep 8 is wrapped. You know what I mean? I don't see how that'll affect it. It's not going to affect it any more than John Boyega signing up for all these other projects.
Everything else,
isn't he a more experienced actor though?
He is a more experienced actor.
Probably juggling different roles. And things like that is obviously something that's important, I guess. But
I mean, like, she needs.
I'm not an actor, so I don't
she
really
needs
know.
to get out the door somehow, and this is probably the best way. I mean, like Doug Liman, he's an interesting talent. I've liked him since Swingers. Well,
I mean, this could be.
This could be her, other franchise, outside the Star Wars, which I think is important, and also.
Well, this could be her Hunger Games, right? So look what Jennifer Lawrence did.
Yeah, exactly.
And what that did to her career.
Yeah, that kind of cement.
Lead
she
role.
Smashes an Oscar and fucking Silver Lining plays both.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer Lawrence kind of set herself up with 2 movie franchises, X-Men, which she thought she'd just be a side character.
That's right. Then, they centered it more and more around her.
Yeah, because of her popularity. They're like, we got the A-list actress, let's utilise that. With Hunger Games, that cemented her career. And also, when it came to Silver Linings Playbook, I mean, like, she was working with David O. Russell, who's who's a renowned director to fall out with his lead actors. They obviously had some kind of chemistry on that, and he likes reusing the same people. Ever since then, he just kept the same cast. You know what I mean? For all of his movies ever since, and he's. To be quite honest, I kind of think with David O. Russell, he's the kind of director where he needs the same people because he doesn't seem to get along with new people. I mean, like George Clooney punched him in the face on the set of Three Kings over some kind of dispute. And do you know what I mean? Like, same thing with Mark Wahlberg. Well, they didn't get into fist fights, but it was renowned when they were doing I Love Huckabees. There was some dispute and stuff with the two of them. So
not the most popular guy to work with, right?
Maybe not, but at the same time, when he does... Yeah, I mean, he reuses the same actors because, I've had it when I've done short films. I like to reuse the same people because, there's a shorthand in that. You know what I mean? There's a shorthand in that where I don't really have to tell them much and they get it and whatever. And the people that I do have difficulties with, I just kind of don't use them as much, Just... But,
it's going to be an interesting project. Obviously, it's going to be something that there's going to be more casting announcement and everything going forward. So we'll move on. So Alien Covenant. So Ridley Scott's follow-up to Prometheus, Alien Covenant, is officially a year from release. And to mark the countdown, the marketing team have put together a short Facebook clip which showed newcomer Kathryn Waterston in Hypersleep. So Waterston is famed for Boardwalk Empire, and most recently she was in Steve Jobs. She's also in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and in Logan Lucky. The film finds colony ship The Covenant headed for a remote planet, a place that the crew initially thinks is an uncharted paradise. The only inhabitant appears to be the synthetic life form David, who's Michael Fassbender, who claims to be the lone survivor of the Prometheus mission. Is he telling the truth? Maybe, maybe not, given that Noomi Rapace's apparent presence on the cast list. But that could be a flashback, or it could be, a clip from the previous movie. So, Alien Covenant. Now, I haven't kept up much news on this one. Sasha, you're probably the one who knows a little bit more about this.
I don't know anything regarding plot, storylines and details other than the Covenant's like a new ship, so it's a brand new crew and stuff. Were
you a fan of Prometheus?
You know what? Yeah, I was.
If you remove it from the Alien universe, it's a good film.
It's a good film.
But if you try to if you're like, this is it, then a lot of things don't make sense to me. Like, why the spoiler alert? But why all of a sudden, the ship why couldn't it just be in the fucking planet from the first movie? Like, why did it have to not be that planet? And then they do it, and then they find the aliens on another
because he knew he was making 3 films.
Yeah, I know, but they could. Yeah, but I just don't get why that couldn't have been the planet. And then they just made 3 films from then. Why confuse it? Because he did have all the fanboys going, oh yeah, well if you look at the first movie, and then he
just turned around and he said, the one letter. He's like, no, it's
so go on. So you were speaking. So apologies.
But no, I mean, there's been pictures, there's been this and that. The fact is, there's not really a lot of information to go on. We're just all nitpicking from, the little scraps that we got, about Alien Covenant.
Until
we see that first trailer, then I've got stuff to say. Over at Zito's gang, Joe has a lot to say. Joe's very vocal. Prometheus, he loves Prometheus. I liked Prometheus. I understand it had a few problems. For me, it had real dumb problems. Fucking the 2 guys that were scared shitless. And then they see a fucking space cobra. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was a living entity. It's a space cobra. It looks like a cobra. And my man's like, hey, little birdie. It's what the fuck is that? You were shitting yourself 2 seconds ago.
I'm just going to go with the Prometheus school of running, which is this thing's falling this way. All of this space either side, but you keep running that way.
That way,
Game of Thrones. Zigzag.
Zigzag. But it had little dumb stuff like that, which I expected more from Ridley Scott. But at the same time, I enjoyed it for the spectacle that it was. And you know what I'll say about Prometheus? Best use of 3D in any 3D thing since Avatar.
I'd agree
because
with that.
The 3D was fantastic. But then that's Ridley Scott's style of directing. He's always filmed large landscapes and with shots with a lot of depth within the frame. So that's just him as a director. Normally he thinks that way. Artistically. You look at stuff like Blade Runner, it's all there. If Blade Runner had a 3D release, boom.
No, I can
no. I guarantee
you don't deserve.
I guarantee you, Blade
in being the same whisper as Blade Runner.
All I'm saying is, bottom line is, until we see more, then I'll have more to say. But I'm looking forward.
I mean, little things like, so there's a theory, a rumor to say that this new planet that they go to might actually be the
one
that might be not just it could be the one, but it could also be the engineer's planet.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you're thinking it from a biblical sense, because originally it was going to be called Paradise Lost, which is, it could be paradises in heaven, God, Eden, all that shit. So
I kind of wish they kept that title. I get why Fox would change it to Alien Covenant, but I like the fact...
They needed more for the franchise.
Yeah.
Because Prometheus, although it was linked not many people realised, I think, at the time how linked it was.
Yeah,
to
that's
that
right.
franchise. Now they're like, no, this is
Yeah,
it.
just want to hammer it in.
Because of this association. But I mean, Prometheus had like many nods to the original. I mean, just when they walk in, you see those tubs of the black vat.
Yeah.
And the way it's all set out with the mist and everything. You're like, oh, it's the room with the X.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think
that original trailer, or both those trailers, they were cut exactly the same as the original Alien. And you know what? But with an updated kind of twist. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Those two trailers are probably in my top 10 of best trailers ever.
I think what they tried to do is they tried to make it the film too on the nose at the end with the Alien hybrid kind of thing.
I wish they never did that.
They didn't do that. It was like, this really is Aliens, you know what I mean?
But that's what it was. It was kind of like, in case you guys missed the entire point here, we're just going to give this to you here because you guys are, and that's insulting. That's insulting your audience.
I would have preferred that to be like a little thing at the end of the credits or something. You know,
the other thing is, if that's not, so here's another question. I guess kind of might be answered, might not be answered, but if, and we all know it's not, but if the first planet that they come to in Prometheus isn't the planet where they find them in Aliens, what the fuck happens with all that shit on that planet?
Third movie, man.
So like, what's going on there? Where's all the aliens there? And the other thing is, I mean, again, is AVP supposed to be canon?
No,
it's not. It's like a side thing.
No. It's like a not thing. They've completely just went AVP. No.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say, it kind of doesn't make sense if you think about it, because it's not, it's
ultimate reality.
Supposedly humans have created aliens because of humans' intervention.
They've basically done what Bryan Singer did with Days of Future Past.
Like, just rewrite
everything's canon except for Origins. You know what I mean? Like, see Origins, that can
go fuck
itself. That can go
suck
here.
A dick, Sasha. Say suck a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, I agree with Sasha. We're gonna have to see a little bit more about it. But I don't have my doubts. It's Ridley Scott. It's fucking Alien. Yeah. You know, if it was somebody else doing the work, then it would kind of suck. It would. The idea of it would suck, but who knows? But this, I'm down with it. I'm happy to see what Ridley Scott pulls out. He's the gatekeeper.
In terms of the Alien franchise, they're working from both sides now, aren't they? So they're getting the prequels, and we're getting that.
We're getting that eventually. The thing is, I don't know whether Blomkamp's one's coming after this one or whether after the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the thing. I think at this point,
I'd let Ridley finish
what he does, because Ridley's on board as a producer on that one. Yeah. I know there was a rumour that he's working on another project with Sigourney Weaver because they really enjoyed their time working together on Chappie. That's why because he got the green light because he enticed Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney Weaver just turned around to Fox and was like, Alien, I want in, this is what it should be. And then they were like, speak to Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott was like, cool, you need to make a couple of changes there because I want to really finish this story. And it's still happening, but personally for me, I want to see that film because Hicks lives, motherfucker. Okay, Hicks lives.
Alright, we're going to move on to our final topic, Star Wars Rogue One. So, Jimmy Smits, who played Princess Leia's adopted father, Bail Organa, in both Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, has confirmed to CBS The Talk that he'll be back for Rogue One, stating, can you say the word cameo? Can you say the word small parts? So, Sacha, your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Fuck you, Joe. I told you, bitch. I told you. This was a big thing on the Zedos gang. Joe's like, I don't think they're going to associate with the prequels. I'm like, Jimmy Smits being in Rogue One makes fucking sense. You know what else would make sense? You know what I'd like them to do? This is a personal thing, okay? All right. In all the Star Wars lore, what happened to Bail Organa? He got blown up on Alderaan, okay? We never see him get blown. He's a senator. I've been saying this for years, okay? Make him live and I'll be a very happy man, okay? Because that will make the whole community just go, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Especially with the new canon as well. If they made Jimmy Smits lead, why has he got to be on Alderaan? You know what I mean?
How many planets there are?
I would have thought George Lucas would have put a special edition with Alderaan and him negotiating with Vader or something. Don't blow up my planet or something on a video screen. Didn't happen. You know what? Make him live. No, seriously, just for that twist factor and just for everyone, oh wow, we've got Jimmy Smits now, we can utilise him, make it look older. I think that would be cool. Personally, from storytelling and, what the fuck kind of moment. Other thing is, Loving that they're linking like that kind of thing with the prequel there. Maybe finally we get to see Alderaan properly rather than 2 seconds in Revenge of the Sith, because that's a planet I thought that they would focus on a lot more. But that's one Star Wars fans thought they'd see a lot more in the prequels, and then they got Naboo. What the fuck is a Naboo? You know what I mean? Where's fucking Alderaan, man? And you know what? Like, there's so much artwork that Ralph McQuarrie did in the 70s and 80s and stuff, like building the look of Alderaan that Star Wars fans know about, and we never got to see. So now we do.
Do you think Alderaan might be something that the Han Solo movie spin-off might pay some attention?
I'd rather not. I'd rather keep. You see, Alderaan is kind of like, you know, like Naboo. It's that kind of planet. Han Solo's like, swinging it in the outer rim, which is the outskirts. So you got planets like Tatooine, Nar Shaddaa, that bloody like whatever that planet was in. What's it? Force Awakens with Mars. You know what I mean? Like keep Han Solo as like a pirate smuggler thing with gangsters and stuff like that. Have its own vibe. Put a 70s tune in there. You know, I'm up.
There was some rumors that potentially they had filmed some scenes with the new Solo to be in Rogue One.
They've
been debunked now.
Which
is really good.
Which is really good because I would not. You know what? If he showed up in Rogue One and A New Hope's the direct film after that, I'd actually be a little bit upset because, to be quite honest,
he's not supposed to be the same age.
He's supposed to be younger, so or whatever. I don't know. I'm still out for all the Star Wars stuff. I'm not feeling this Han Solo movie. I think there's like a billion stories that they could go down and tell that people genuinely want, and this if any character. The two characters that I think should genuinely get their own fucking say if you want to do main characters. I want a Qui-Gon movie with Liam Neeson done like Taken. I want a typical Liam Neeson action movie in the Star Wars galaxy. And
Qui-Gon's the baddest Jedi of all time.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. If you have any different opinion, I'm not massive on Star Wars. Obviously, I've stayed quite quiet on this. My opinion on this is very limited, leave it to the experts. But I will say that Qui-Gon is a G. Qui-Gon's the OG, and straight up, anybody who disagrees with me, go find your mom, fucker. I don't give a shit. don't try to argue with me on this point. I'm sure Sacha will agree.
Yeah,
there you go. Argue with him.
Or Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's
like, why the fuck's this not happened? You know what I mean? Like, you know what?
Could you imagine a Pulp Fiction star, kind of like Samuel Jackson, John Travolta, but of Obi-Wan and fucking Qui-Gon?
Yeah, man.
Oh wait, hold on, I do.
Hey, Mace Windu might not be dead. You can have and
well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, so that was our hot topics for the week. So now we're going to touch on the film flashback. This is where we look at films that were released 10, 20, and 30 years ago this week. So first of all, guys, 10 years ago this week, we had Barnyard, the original Party Animals. That was an animated movie. Had Courtney Cox in it, I think, and Kevin James. Yeah. So not big.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, Danny Glover.
Miles the Mule.
You had The Descent.
With the girls who go into the caves, right? Yeah, I like that film, man.
That was a good one.
It's good times, yeah.
And there's a lot of films out on that week of August 4th, but the other one was Tagadela Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
It's a really underrated one.
Shake and bake, motherfucker. I love that movie, man.
That's a great movie. And it's not often spoke about when you talk about those comedy movies with... what's his name?
Will Ferrell.
It doesn't come up that often when you talk about Will Ferrell movies, but it is a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Really funny.
I love that film.
Also, we had on August 9th World Trade Center, which is a deep movie.
Yeah.
Right,
that's with John Travolta, right?
No, it's with
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. So 20 years ago this 49. Week, August 9th, we had Escape from LA.
You know what? No, yeah. You know what?
I wasn't a fan of it.
It's a rubbish movie. Only because it's coming off Escape from New York, which is one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, like surfing on a tsunami. That's next level ridiculous. But you know,
hold on. Who else did that? James Bond.
No, but Snake Plissken did it better. No.
Yes,
you know what?
He did.
You know what?
20 years, 30 years better.
Look. I love Escape from New York. This was the lesser sequel.
Yes.
This was the lesser sequel, no doubt. But you know what?
I want you to insert this picture when it talks about this movie.
But
I want you to insert that picture when you're talking about this film. You'll see a picture at the bottom right now.
Yeah,
that picture. This picture right here is the film he's talking about, and it's being a good
You know
film.
what? As bad as it was, you know what? I still liked it just for Kurt Russell doing this thing. Snake Plissken. I like Escape from New York, cinematic classic, if you haven't seen it. You know, this one's more or less the same shit, but he went to LA. You know what I mean? It's the lesser sequel, no doubt. But, you know, just having him back as
Was
Snake
this the one
Plissken,
where California had, like, broken off from the state?
Yeah.
Its own, like, island and stuff.
That's right. I mean, like, you know what? Yeah, there's been
that's the only way it's going to work.
I'm going to say this. There's been rumblings about a remake.
Don't do it.
No, dude. They're actually actively trying to make this happen for the past 15 years. Okay.
Yeah. Can we leave it forever?
You know what?
And not make it?
You know what was so.
Put a rock in it.
You know the only thing that was unbelievable about Escape from LA? That this 23-year-old guy, Kurt Russell, was this war hero stroke guy that he should have been like an older dude. I say, if you're going to remake it, bring back Kurt in the role and like put A-list characters around the supporting cast. You know, if I was to remake this movie, I'd still have it in 18. I'd still do it at a lower budget. I'd put like Vin Diesel or The Rock as the Duke. You know what I mean? And give them more screen presence as the bad guy to equal Russell. And then probably have like Zac Efron as like, you know, what's it? The worm guy, you know, the brainy guy that helps him in the streets and stuff.
Okay.
I've thought about this. I've actually thought about this and have, you know, probably have like an anime kind of reference, have like drones and stuff because we're a drone society, hunting down, you know, people misbehaving in the prisons and stuff. So you got drones chasing them. Maybe have hover cars in there. I'd put it in a future where it's actually a future, you know what I mean? Rather than something we're going to outlive, you know what I mean? And just have Kurt Russell.
Don't you love that when you see a movie and like, and they're like, the future, 1997. And you're like,
you've bypassed it now.
You're like, dude, we're in 2015. It kind of is kind of like that dystopian future, except we still have technology and running water. We have this thing called the internet. Like, for some reason, that got missed out forever.
And the other thing, deliver on the promise of the poster. Put the Statue of Liberty's head in there because that was never in the original. You know,
but they did it in Cloverfield, so it's good enough, right?
That's true. But I mean, like, you know, I love this film. I love this film. I love New York. You know what I mean? I can see potential in a remake, but I wouldn't want to see anyone. But it's the Indiana Jones factor. Even though they could,
you probably shouldn't.
You probably shouldn't. But
anyway. So, and 30 years ago, this week on August 8th, we had Stand By Me.
Love that. Stephen King's
classic,
book. Stephen King's
classic. And also, The Transformers, the movie.
Yeah, it's one of your favourite films. I think number 6 on your list or 7.
I recently posted a list on Facebook of like top films, but that one always comes to mind. It's one of the very first movie experiences I can remember at the cinema.
Yeah, same.
So, you know, we came out 30 years ago. I was probably about 5-6 years old. I was 5 years old. So I do remember that. And it was just like, that was huge. And I remember coming out of the cinema. I remember crying as a kid, like Optimus Prime dying and stuff like that. But what they did in the UK release compared to the US was, at the end of the movie, they have a voiceover saying Optimus Prime will return. And they didn't have that in the US release. And the kids were coming out like distraught about it. And so when they re-released it, when they released it to the other countries, they added that on at the end. And so kids were like, oh, okay, it's fine. He's coming. The parents would be like, no, he's coming back. He's coming back. The first film I remember seeing at the cinema.
I was having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day, Louise. You're awesome, by the way. I know you watch. We were talking about the first film, mate. What was the first film you remember was?
First film was Transformers.
Sacha?
Bambi or Return of the Jedi?
Right. Okay,
mine was Generations, Star Trek Generations.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
My mum took me to go see that. It was like, I actually remember, because at the same time, Disclosure came out with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas, and the post, this was in Trocadero, like in Central and Piccadilly Circus, when it was good. And I remember seeing the poster for Disclosure. You know, I don't know if you post picture of the actual it's
Disclosure. The poster is now on the screen. So this is
Demi Moore like kissing Michael Douglas, and you see like the back of her her leg and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's like, yeah, that's what we're going to go watch. And I was like, because I was like, I want to go see fucking Jean-Luc Picard and Captain Kirk in the same fucking screen. But yeah, there you go.
So that was a film flashback.
I bet you've watched Explosion now, right?
Yeah. Out of choice now, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I've seen that a few times, actually, yeah. To be fair, my mum was letting me watch, like, fucking RoboCop when I was, like, 4 years old. So, if you watch that film now, it's like,
I kind of did that with my sister when I used to babysit her. I'd be sticking, like, Terminator, RoboCop, and stuff like that, when she was, like, 5 years old, and stuff like that.
I'm not allowed to do that with my son.
Mum.
If I do that with my son, he's, like, 2.5, and...
Oh no, sons and daughters is different. Brothers and sisters.
So my mum would let me, obviously I'm her son, she would let me watch that shit, but I couldn't do that with my son because I'd end up in some sort of facility.
Yeah.
Really? And then he would probably end up in some sort of facility.
Like child abuse now.
Yeah, it was just fucking technically child abuse, man. You shouldn't be apparently
right,
do that.
So that was film flashback. Now we're moving on to the Channel Flick Challenge. So the reigning, defending Leo
undisputed
is Leo's going up against Sacha. We're gonna have a best of 3. So guys, straight into it. Rock, paper, scissors.
Throw on scissors.
Throw on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Go on.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
I pick to go first, please. Like I'd rather pick pick to go first. Which was the movie? I picked the movie. I want to have the movie, but I have to go first. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get the timer up. Okay, so the films are Cool Runnings and The Mask.
Oh, that's difficult.
That's actually
fucking
quite
hard.
I like both those films.
Right?
Do you know what? I'm going to go with Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Oh!
I'm going to go with Cool Runnings. It's a hard one, but I'm going to have to go with Cool Runnings. Yeah.
Right, so... so Leo, you have 30 seconds, and obviously 20 seconds obviously convince me.
Do you want to explain what this Channel Flick Challenge is?
You should know it by now. This is like the 9th episode you guys have watched. Channel Flick Challenge, remote in hand. You're too tired to watch one of your recorded shows or something that you really want to pay interest in. 2 films are on terrestrial TV, and you're like, which of these films do I watch? So these guys have got 30 seconds to make their argument, and then they have a 20-second rebuttal. I will score points based on whatever I feel like. Because
we're logical in this.
We're logical like this. Okay, so Leo, you have
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay.
So 30 seconds on the watch. Go.
Cool Runnings is not just a story about the underdog, but it's a historical landmark in the Olympics with a country that had nowhere near being winter sports, and ultimately winning not just their pride and winning for their country. They may have lost the actual bobsled game, race, but they won in spirit. And also you got John Goodman, who is absolutely coming straight off Uncle Buck style comedy and just coming straight in and delivering absolutely amazing stuff.
Sacha, you have The Mask. 30 seconds, go.
Mask, boy meets girl, nerdy guy meets girl, love story. Also redefined special effects in ways you wouldn't believe. It was like the first of its kind to utilise those effects that is used in movies today, such as Garfield and Casper, and, spawned off all these movie stuff based on those effects, Also gave us a little bit of a comic book movie resurgence around that time. Right after that, we had Dredd.
Yeah,
Leo, you have 20 seconds.
The 2 films you fought off that have spawned off that come to top of your head as Casper, and what was the other one? Garfield, right. Those films aren't really good. I can totally understand, and whilst I love The Mask, Cool Runnings is it's not even just for black people. Black Lives Matter. It showed everybody's matter. It literally pushed the boundaries on what is acceptable for a country to do.
20 seconds, Sacha.
That's great, but my movie cemented Jim Carrey as a fucking icon and a legend, mate. Not only that, cemented Cameron Diaz in one camera shot. Cameron Diaz comes on screen, second best female opening ever in movie history versus Salma Hayek, just saying. Cemented her as a movie star.
Ooh. I think... Just based on your rebuttal,
I'd give it to him too, actually. Yeah.
Very 2 good things.
I'd give it to him.
And the other one was, you said John Goodman. It was actually John Candy. in Cool Runnings.
Fuck, yes.
So first round actually goes to Sacha.
You could have said it was also his last film.
That's right.
Was it actually?
It was his last
I
film.
didn't know that.
It was actually, there was another film after that, but this one was the last one he filmed. The one he did was some cowboy film with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Right, okay.
But
I'd have given that to him. That was hard for me.
Right, round 2. So Sacha, if you win this, you take it this week. Keep going.
Fuck.
Right, Sacha.
Right.
Sacha, okay, going first or second?
I'll pick.
You're going to pick the movie. Right. Changing up his style. Okay, so the 2 movies are Bad Boys, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Ooh. Bad Boys.
Alright, cool.
Bad Boys.
Right, you have 30 seconds for Bad Boys. Go.
Cements Will Smith as an action movie star, done. I mean, one of the best buddy cop films of all time. Cements both Will Smith and Michael Bay in their careers and stuff, giving excellent chemistry between him and Martin Lawrence. Fantastic action sequences. Great summer movie. Possibly one of the best action movies ever made. Period.
Time. Leo, you have 30 seconds for Die Hard with a Vengeance.
You have the duo. We got the trifecta, my friend. And 3 is better than 2. Bruce Willis, Samuel Jackson, and Jeremy motherfucking Irons. Not only did they manage to bring back the spirit of one of the greatest villains of all time, Hans Gruber, but they brought in even just Simon Says. As in, you need to do what the fuck I'm telling you to do. He tells 2 of the biggest names in fucking Hollywood, this is how you do it, and I'm going to tell you what to do. Mate, that film is it's literally the trifecta and the triple threat. You can't touch that movie.
20 seconds, Sacha.
Yeah, your film was Die Hard by accident. Bruce Willis didn't want to do a Die Hard. The script was called Simon Says. It was filmed as a completely different movie. They only did it last minute and it pissed off Bruce Willis in the process. Funnily enough, we got good Bruce Willis in that one. But you know what? Michael Bay cements his career with his visual style, which was unheard of back in the day.
Coming from the guy who hates Michael Bay. All you ever do is stand around and take the piss out of Michael Bay.
I've never said that.
Yes, you do. You hate all of his fucking movies.
No, I don't.
Ultimately, I'm not going to argue because I'm talking my point. Ultimately, I think I deserve more time because he's trying to cut me off. Ultimately, this movie is above all the best when it comes to the Die Hard franchise, my friend. It literally brings in such an amazing cast together and brings back the greatest villains of all time.
I did give you an extra 6 seconds there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It threw me off my game. I was in the middle of a thing and I had to read
that.
it.
In terms of argument,
you have, bruv. I've sat with
haven't.
you and you've been like, fuck Michael Bay.
I actually haven't.
No, so I would disagree on that point because Sacha's like, fuck. It doesn't say fuck Michael Bay. He doesn't like the Transformers franchise, but he always stipulates, I don't think it's Michael Bay's fault.
Yeah.
He's just given something and he points to shoot and he does what he does. He's talked about The Rock and Bad Boys and Armageddon. There's loads of films that he loves. But what I think clinched it for me on that one is the way you took away that it was never supposed to be Die Hard 3. The Simon Says, that factor. I'm actually going to give that one to Sacha.
Yeah, give it, man. Give it. That's a good argument. I don't really know a lot about Die Hard 3, man.
So,
I didn't have a choice
you brought
there.
in the knowledge there, which tipped it over for me. So Sacha,
champ.
you wins. New champ. Second win. Very nice.
Second or third?
No, second win for Sacha. Yeah.
Sick.
Nice. I'll save the other one for another time because that's a good fight.
The one I suggested.
No, I've got another one.
You got another one.
Okay. I'm trying to bank some of these because we don't always use them every week. It's hard to come up with
that one.
movies.
That one's a pattern. Basically, I told you.
No, save it.
We'll save
I'll
it,
give that to someone else who's arguing, maybe not yourself. So because you already know it. That was the Film Flash. That wasn't the Film Flash. That was the Channel Flick Challenge. Right, that's pretty much wraps up the main content of our podcast this week. So just to touch on, guys, any other business for this week?
You know what, dude? I saw Stranger Things. Oh my god, that show's amazing.
Everyone's been going on about it.
No, dude, get on it, man. Just get on it. Just blitz through it. Seriously. I watched like one episode. I had to watch. I watched
It's the
4.
intro that gets you, though, isn't it? The intro
episodes, right?
The music,
yeah, 8 episodes. I blitzed through 4 the first day.
Which is strange.
And then I had trouble with my internet the second day, which pissed me off.
Pay your bill, bro. Pay your bill.
The second day I had like I did 2 episodes and then I had to watch them in singular bursts afterwards.
Right,
that pissed me off, bro. It's so good, man. It's so good. I actually don't want them to do a second season because I kind of feel.
I think they'll do a second one, but it will be a completely unrelated cast.
Do you reckon?
It will be like very much like maybe not the cast, but I reckon probably a lot like American Horror Story. Where it's like they'll separate. It might be like
they separate the seasons.
Yeah, they'll separate the seasons, but like you'll have the same actors playing different characters. But I mean, probably they'll have like probably the same like alternate world that exists, but maybe it's happening somewhere else. Maybe a different format, maybe like a different species.
Yeah, don't go too much into it.
Don't spoil. I know it's all spoilers, but don't spoil this.
It's really good. I'm down. Like I'm saying, you have to fucking watch it.
You know what? Because like I mentioned, my mate Colin mentioned it the day before. He's like, guys, you need to check out Stranger Things. That's all I'm going to say. Just check it. It's a show. You'll love it. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, cool, all right. And then I kind of discarded it. And then on the podcast last week, you did the shout out for it. And I was like, okay, well, if Leo likes it, and he likes it, Leo generally likes what I like, I'll give it a go. And then I saw it on Netflix. I was like, this is the show. All right, let's give it a go. It's fantastic. Watch it. If you like stuff like
Super 8. Do you know what the selling point for me of that whole thing was, though? The whole selling point for me that was the main girl. What's her name? Naomi, what?
I don't know. Winona Ryder.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
Winona Ryder was the main selling point for me because I haven't seen her do. I think me personally, the last thing I saw her do was Mr. Deeds, and that was coming straight off her.
Star Trek.
Huh?
That's Star Trek.
She she played Spock's mum, right? But I think like the main
story.
role
I saw Star Trek in the cinema, and I wasn't with Steve, your ex-housemate Steve. But he was around our vicinity. He was watching it at that midnight show. Someone in the cinema, when she came on screen, shouted, "Thief!" Whole cinema started busting up laughing, man.
This is the first Star Wars movie. Yeah. I mean, was you done? You got
anything else? Any other business?
No, just Stranger Things, man. Check it out.
I'm going to give this shout out second time because I did it last week. I'm going to do it again. Retro Empire. I finally received my Revo K101 Plus little console. Fucking amazing. I definitely recommend everybody go out and check. If you're into retro stuff, they can get this stuff for you. I would suggest you go to their website, retroempire.uk.co.uk. We'll link it again in the bottom, but definitely if you're into it, ask them. I can't do it justice. Everything you need is on there. Apart from that, I wrote something on Facebook the other day. Some of you may not agree. I don't care. But the best sequel, the best sequel of all time for me. And whilst there are Empire, T2, great films, I still think Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. What a badass fucking movie. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. You show that film to a non-Trek fan and they're still going to be like, this fucking movie's badass. It's fucking good. I'm going to show it to my girlfriend tonight probably because we've just punished through all Voyager on Netflix.
Right, okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like just a few games.
Some TV news. So People versus O.J. Simpson. Mr. Robot, they lead sort of like the TCA Awards. That's the Television Critics Association Awards. I haven't seen Mr. Robot yet. I've just downloaded the first 5 episodes. I'm going to start getting on with that.
I want to check that out.
I've heard really good things about that. There's a second season. The second season was already out, I think.
Yeah.
Also, that Hulu are starting to develop some documentaries, so they're trying to get into what Netflix is doing, their own product stuff, and they're going to start doing some documentaries. So they're going to focus on the real creator of Batman. They're going to do some documentaries like George Lazenby, the only Bond, some really obscure sort of documentaries and stuff like that. But yeah, so just a shout, if you haven't seen People versus O.J. Simpson, get on that and watch that. It's an incredible TV show, incredible experience. Absolutely loved it. Some phenomenal acting in that. And I think that's it.
Hold on. One documentary I would totally recommend to anybody who's interested, especially if you're into crime documentaries about maybe corrupt police officers, drugs, stuff like that. It's a documentary called The 7-5. Really recommend it. Came out 2 years ago, but I've only got recently because of Joe Rogan had the actual corrupt cop on there, Michael Dowd. Totally recommend you guys watch it. Really, really, really good documentary. Really delves into like basically how fucking badass New York was in the fucking 70s and how that shit, very much warrior style, kind of like each to their own. Cops were corrupt as fuck and taking money off motherfuckers left and right. It's drugs was everywhere, crack was taking over. So definitely recommend that if you guys get a chance to check it out. That's
cool.
pretty much it.
And that's it. So the last thing from us is that we've all seen Suicide Squad now. So I'm going to be doing a full spoiler review. So keep an eye out for that on a separate video. I won't touch on it here because I'm going to make you watch the other video. That's pretty much it. So thanks very much for being here, guys. Cool. Sasha, if anyone wants to find you online, where can they find you?
At Sashman3 on Twitter.
And Leo?
You'll find me on Instagram, Mr_Overteen Jenkins, and then you'll also find me on Twitter, Leo Van Damage.
Yeah, and you can find me at Kenan Akbar on Twitter and on Instagram, Kenan_A. If you enjoy this show, please make sure you subscribe. Even if you didn't subscribe, please share it around. If you want to get in contact with us, you can get in contact. You can tweet us at Friends Talk Film. You can email us suggestions for some topics or channel flick challenge combinations at Friends Talk Film at friendstalkfilm@gmail.com, and you can also find us on Facebook, Friends Talk Film page. And wow, I've got action going again. And I think that's about it. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.